Hello everyone. I'm E from Susan's family. Today, I'm bringing you the rich avocado from Fat Choy plant. This potted plant consists of the pot, soil, trunk, avocado, leaves, and decorations. We will crochet them in order, and then assemble after completion. First, let's learn how to make the pot. We start with a magic ring, then crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. Before we start, let's familiarize ourselves with the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The column for increases and decreases explanation shows the stitch patterns needed for crocheting the current round, including any increases or decreases. The total stitches column shows the total number of stitches after completing all the stitches for the current round. The stitch patterns used include X single crochet, V single crochet increase, a single crochet decrease, chain stitch, and slip stitch. Now, please watch as I demonstrate the crocheting method for better visibility. I will use cotton yarn for the demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. The foundation method is magic ring, which means the casting on method is an adjustable magic ring. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand, wrap it around your left index finger once. Pinch where the loops overlap with your right thumb and index finger, then take it out, then wrap the yarn tail around your left little finger once. Pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Move the hook between these 2 points. Insert the hook into the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Draw the yarn through. You should have 1 loop on your hook. Make another chain stitch to secure. Yarn over. Draw through the loop. 1 chain stitch is completed. Pull tight. The magic ring is now complete. Keep the loop on the hook slightly loose. This makes it more convenient for the following crochet work. Next, crochet the first round. Our 1 is 7x. The number before the X indicates how many single crochets to make. So you work that many single crochets. Here it means to work 7 single crochets into the magic ring. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This turning chain is not marked in the chart. But when crocheting in rounds, you need to make a turning chain at the beginning of each round. The turning chain for single crochet does not count as a stitch. Then start working the single crochet. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. You will have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. And draw through both loops. 1 single crochet is now completed. There is a V-shaped pair of strands at the top right. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Place a stitch marker on the stitch. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a paperclip or safety pin as a substitute. Continue with the second single crochet. Insert into the large hole of the starting ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. And draw through both loops on the hook. The second single crochet is now completed. In the first round, you need to crochet 7 single crochets in total. Continue to complete the remaining single crochets. The stitch pattern corresponding to the chart is now completed. After that, close the magic ring. Tighten the yarn tail. And the ring is now closed. Next, finish with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch of this round. That is, crochet at the marked stitch with the stitch marker. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And pull through all the loops on the hook. The slip stitch is completed. This chain formed by the slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Tighten it. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. When crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. This completes the first round. Move on to the second round. For R2, you will crochet 7 V-stitches. The number before the V indicates how many single crochet increases to make in a row. Here it means to work 7 single crochet increases in a row. Work 1 chain to begin. Let me emphasize again. Start each round with a beginning chain. I won't repeat this in the following steps. Work 1 single crochet increase in the first stitch of the first round. This is where you insert your hook for the slip stitch join. Crochet 2 single crochets in this same stitch. As you crochet, place the starting tail above the hook. Weave in the tail as you go along. 1 stitch. Place a marker. Insert the hook into the same stitch again and work a single crochet. Two stitches. The single crochet increase is now complete. Continue to work a single crochet increase in the next left stitch. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail as you go. The second single crochet increase is now complete. You need to work a total of 7 single crochet increases in this round. For the remaining 5 increases, work 2 single crochets into each stitch. After completing the last single crochet increase, check the stitch count. Start counting from the marked stitch. 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, There should be a total of 14 stitches in this round. The total number of stitches for each round is indicated in the corresponding table. I won't repeat this information from now on. Join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Please be mindful that, at the end of each round, you need to join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Insert your hook into the stitch marker, yarn over, draw the yarn through, and pull through all loops on the hook. Pull tight. The slip stitch is completed. You can cut off the extra yarn tail from the starting chain directly. The second round is now complete. Continue with the third round. R3 is XV times 7. The parentheses indicate a group. Times several times indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. Start with one single crochet. Place a marker. For convenience in finding the position for the slip stitch later, place a marker on the first stitch of each round. Work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. The XV pattern is now completed. Let me demonstrate it one more time. Start with one single crochet. Then work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. This is the second time. You need to repeat the XV pattern 7 times in this round. Complete the remaining 5 repetitions following the same single crochet pattern. Use the method of making 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. The third round is now completed. You can see that the right side texture is clear, while the wrong side texture is blurry. Now let's work on the fourth round. Start with one single crochet. Then work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Work one more single crochet. XV X is now completed. Let me demonstrate it one more time. Start with one single crochet. Then work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Continue with one more single crochet. This is the second time. Follow the previous method to continue working. After completing all stitches, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The 4th round is now completed. Move on to the 5th round. Start with 3 single crochets. Then work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Pay attention. The increase placement should follow the stitch pattern in the chart. Do not adjust it arbitrarily. Continue working following the previous method. Finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The 5th round is now completed. Let's take a look. A raised texture on the right side indicates 1 round. Now we have completed 5 rounds in total. For rounds 6 to 7 as shown in the chart. Just follow the stitch pattern order in the chart, repeat crocheting the corresponding number of times. This completes the explanation for rounds 6 to 7. Next, work on the 8th round. When you encounter BLO, it means to pick the back loop only for crocheting. That is, crochet into the yarn that is farther from you. Continue to refer to the chart and pick the back loops for crocheting. Finally, end with a slip stitch. The 8th round is now complete. For the upcoming 9th to 17th rounds, just follow the stitch pattern order in the chart. Repeat crocheting the corresponding number of times. Let me explain this part. In the chart, for R11 R17, the increases and decreases explanation shows even 6/6x. This means starting from the 11th round, 1 single crochet in each stitch. With each round having 66 stitches, continue all the way to the end of the 17th round. Pay attention to not forgetting the beginning chain, and slip stitch as you crochet, following the method learned previously. Refer to the chart to complete these rounds. Next, crochet the 18th round. Starting from this round, you need to crochet on the wrong side. Begin with a beginning chain. This indicates turning the work piece. Then start from the last stitch of the previous round, working 1 single crochet in each stitch. Note that on the wrong side, the stitches are located at the top left. For the last stitch, crochet into the insertion point of the slip stitch from the previous round. Finish with a slip stitch. The 18th round is now completed. For the next rounds, 19th to 22nd, as shown in the chart, refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. Note that for rounds 19 and 20, you should pick up the back loops only to crochet. Complete these rounds. Next, work on the 23rd round. Start with 5 single crochets. Then make a single crochet decrease. First, insert the hook into the front loop of the stitch. Which is the strand of the stitch closest to you? Then insert the hook into the front loop of the next stitch on the left. You will have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Leaving 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again and draw through once. Completing the single crochet decrease. This method of decreasing by only picking up the front loops is called an invisible decrease. This completes one group, 5 SC, SC2 tog. Work another group, start with 5 single crochets. Work another single crochet decrease. Let me demonstrate this again. Insert the hook into the front loops of the next 2 stitches on the left side. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through once more. Completing the second single crochet decrease. Continue working around to complete the round. After completing the last single crochet decrease, fasten off the yarn, leaving a 5 cm yarn tail. Pull the yarn through. Then draw the yarn through the first chain stitch. And pull the yarn through the middle of the last stitch again. Completing the fastening off. Round 23 is now completed. Hide the yarn tail inside. And proceed with stuffing. Turn the last few rounds to the right side. Then take out the weighting beads and fiberfill. And evenly distribute the weighting beads at the bottom of the pot. Then stuff the fiberfill inside. Make sure the stuffing is firm and even. Be mindful not to distort the shape of the pot. This completes the pot. Next, we'll work on the soil. Start with a magic ring, and crochet in rounds counterclockwise. After completion, sew it inside the pot. The crocheting method for the soil is similar to the first few rounds of the pot, but with different stitch counts and round numbers. Follow the previous method, and use the corresponding color of yarn to crochet the soil. Finally, leave a 60 cm yarn tail for finishing off. This completes the explanation for the soil. Next, we'll learn how to make the trunk. Start with a magic ring, and crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The method is similar to that of the pot, but with different stitch counts and round numbers. First, refer to the pattern. Use the corresponding color of yarn, and crochet until the last round with one stitch remaining. Make sure the swatch reaches the corresponding position. After completing the last stitch, join it with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. Then crochet one chain stitch to secure. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Next, stuff the trunk with fiberfill and wire. Cut 6 pieces of wire, each one 5 cm long. Fold it in half. And insert it into the trunk. Then stuff the fiberfill around the wire. Next, bend the wire. This completes the trunk. Now let's move on to the avocado. There are two identical pieces, both divided into front pieces and back pieces. After completing them, sew them together. Both the front and back pieces of the avocado start with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. And there will be color changes during the process. Here we use a new stitch technique. T half double crochet, TV half double crochet increase, TW half double crochet 3 in 1. Now, let's show the demonstration. Start with the front piece first. Follow the chart to crochet up to the third round, leaving one single crochet increase. In the next round, you need to change colors. Start with one single crochet, Then make one incomplete single crochet, insert the hook. Yarn over and pull through. The incomplete single crochet is now completed. Next, take the new yarn. Hang the new yarn on your left hand. Yarn over and pull through. This completes the single crochet increase and the color change. Then, join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet using the new yarn. Then leave a 5 cm tail, and cut the original yarn. This completes the third round. Now, let's move on to the fourth round. Start with 4 chain stitches. The last 2 chains count as the turning chain for the half double crochet. This counts as 1 half double crochet. Place a stitch marker on the last chain. Work down to the third chain from the end. This means starting from the third chain from the left end. Flow, front loop only. This means working into the front loop only, that is, picking up the strand of yarn closest to you, and crocheting. TV, half double crochet increase, means working 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the top loop of the third chain from the end. Yarn over and draw through. At this point, there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. 1 half double crochet is now completed. Work 1 more half double crochet in the same stitch. Yarn over and insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over again, and draw through all loops on the hook. The second half double crochet is now completed. This also completes the half double crochet increase. Next, work 1 half double crochet into the left chain. Then work 1 half double crochet into the front loop of the first stitch from the previous round. Then work 2 single crochets. One single crochet increase. Work 2 more half double crochet increases. Then work 3 single crochets. Work 2 more half double crochet increases. One single crochet increase. Two single crochets. Work 1/2 double crochet into the last stitch of the previous round. Work 1/2 double crochet. In the remaining 2 strands on the left side, work a half double crochet 3 in 1. That is, work 3 half double crochets in the same position. Finally, pick up 2 strands at the stitch marker position and slip stitch. This completes the 4th round. Continue to the 5th round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then in the previous round, work 1 single crochet into the slip stitch insertion point. Place a marker here. Continue with single crochets in each and every remaining stitch. After completing the last stitch, fasten off. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. Pull out the yarn tail directly. Draw the yarn tail through the first stitch. Then draw it through the middle of the last stitch. This completes the fastening off. Finally, hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes one front piece of the avocado. Complete the other front piece in the same way. Next, learn to crochet the back piece. The crocheting method is similar to that of the front piece. The back piece does not require color changes. Pay attention to picking up the stitches from the previous row when working the 4th round. At the end of the last round, leave a 40 cm tail for fastening off. Everyone refer to the pattern to complete the back piece. Next, we will sew together the front and back pieces of the avocado. Thread the reserved yarn tail from the back piece into a darning needle. Then align the front piece with the back piece, with their wrong sides facing each other. Sew them together using the whip stitch. Pick up 1 strand of yarn from the inside of the right side of the front piece. Come out from the inside to the outside. Insert the needle from the outside to the inside through the stitch on the left side of the back piece. This sews the 2 stitches together. Continue by picking up one strand of yarn from the inside of the front piece's stitch. Come out from the inside to the outside again. Then insert the needle from the outside to the inside through the stitch on the back piece. Continue sewing. When there are just a few stitches remaining, stuff in the fiber fill. After completing the last stitch, tie off the yarn. Don't cut off the yarn tail yet. This completes the sewing of the avocado. Complete the remaining avocado using the same method. Next, let's move on to the leaves. There are large leaves and small leaves. Start with the large leaves. Begin with a chain stitch. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. In the last round, crochet together with the wire. The large leaves use a new stitch technique. Ch1 picket, chain 1 picket. Now, let's sew. Start with a beginning chain. This indicates a foundation chain. Cast on 6 stitches. Hang the yarn end with your left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger. Pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Yarn over and draw through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Tighten it. Now start crocheting chain stitches. Be mindful not to make the starting chain too tight. Follow this method. Continue crocheting 5 more chain stitches. Place a marker on the last stitch. This completes the starting chain. Next, move on to the first round. Referring to the chart below. Start crocheting from the second chain from the hook. Crochet 1 single crochet. Insert the hook into the top loop of the chains. Then crochet 3 half double crochets. Then in the last chain stitch, crochet 1 single crochet with 3 stitches in one. That is, crochet 3 single crochets in the same position. Then correspondingly make 3 half double crochets. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain and crochet. The yarn tail can be hidden as you crochet. Next, in the insertion point of the first single crochet, make a single crochet increase. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. This completes the first round. Now move on to the second round. Cut a 1/5 cm piece of wire. Leave a 5 cm length of wire. Place it behind the fabric piece. Then in the first stitch of the previous round, make a single crochet increase. Pay attention to wrapping the wire as you crochet. Then crochet 3 half double crochets. Make a single crochet increase. When you reach X, ch1 picket, X. This means to crochet the stitches in the square brackets into the same stitch. First, make a single crochet. Then make a ch1 picket. First, make a chain stitch. Then insert the hook into the front loop of the single crochet stitch, and the yarn below. Make a slip stitch. This completes one ch1 picket. Then make another single crochet in the same position below. This completes the content within the square brackets. Continue crocheting following the chart. Pay attention to wrapping the wire. After completing the last stitch, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Then make one more slip stitch. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. Leave a 3 cm wire tail and cut. This completes one large leaf. Complete the remaining large leaves in the same way. Now move on to the small leaves. The crocheting method is the same as the first round of the large leaves. When crocheting, include the wire together. Start with a chain stitch. After completing it, cut a 1/5 cm piece of wire. Leave 5 cm at the back of the starting chain stitch. Then start crocheting while referring to the pattern. Pay attention to wrapping the wire. At the end, leave a 30 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Also leave a 3 cm wire tail and cut. This completes the small leaf. The explanation for all the leaves is now complete. Next, let's learn about decorations. They are divided into large puffs and small puffs. Start with the large puff. Begin with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The method is similar to the first few rounds of the flower pot, only the number of stitches and rounds differ. At the end, you need to close the opening. Then pull the yarn tight. Next, crochet the final round. First, stuff with an appropriate amount of fiber fill. Ensure the area from the first 2 rounds is firmly stuffed. Then work single crochet decreases. Continue crocheting while stuffing with fiber fill as you go. After completing the single crochet decrease, continue to stuff with fiber fill. You can use the hook handle to assist. Ensure the large puff is firmly stuffed. Then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Next, close the opening. Stretch the loop. Leave a 30 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Thread the yarn tail through a darning needle. Then pass it through the front loops of the last round of stitches. Pull tight to secure when done. Press flat. This completes the closing. Next, proceed with threading. First, insert the yarn tail into the center of the closure. Then exit from any stitch in the second round. Next, insert on the right side into the adjacent stitch. And exit again from the center of the closure. Slightly tighten. Insert back into the center. And exit from the adjacent stitch. Insert on the left side. Pay attention to always entering and exiting from the center of the closure at the bottom. Repeat this process to pull the entire round tightly. After all the yarn tails are pulled through, adjust the shape. Don't cut the yarn tails yet. This completes one large coin-shaped piece. For the remaining large coin-shaped pieces, everyone complete them using this method. This concludes the explanation for the large coin-shaped pieces. Next, let's learn how to make the small coin-shaped pieces. Start with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Everyone first follow the chart to complete the first round. The sample has already completed the first round. Now, move on to the second row. Chain 2 as the turning chain for the half double crochet. This counts as one half double crochet. Then, work a half double crochet increase in the first stitch. That means working 2 half double crochets in the same position. Hide the yarn tail as you crochet. This completes one half double crochet increase. At the same time, the content within the first set of square brackets is now complete. Continue following the chart to finish the remaining set of square brackets. Work another half double crochet increase. Then chain 2. Follow with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Secure with one more chain stitch. Leave a 30 cm tail and cut the yarn. This completes one small puff stitch. Complete the remaining small puff stitches using the same method. That concludes the explanation for the small puff stitches. Next, we will crochet the large coin motif. Start with a magic ring. Crochet into the magic ring. After completing the foundation ring, chain 3 as the beginning chain. This counts as the turning chain for the double crochet. It is counted as one double crochet stitch. Then crochet 11 double crochets into the magic ring. After that, close the magic ring. Leave a 30 cm yarn tail and break the yarn. Finally, fasten off. That concludes the explanation for one large coin motif. The small coin motifs also start with a magic ring. Crochet into the magic ring. The method is similar to the large coin motif. At the end, leave a 30 cm yarn tail, break the yarn, and fasten off. Complete these small coin motifs in this way. Next, we'll assemble the pieces. Sew together the completed parts. Then sew the trunk onto the soil. Position the slip stitch marks on the soil to the back. Place the opening of the trunk on top of the soil. With the slip stitch marks facing backward, sew the trunk onto the 5th round of the soil. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the trunk into a sewing needle. And sew it to the soil. You can adjust the position as you sew. After the last stitch, tie a knot. Thread the yarn tail into the inside of the trunk. Trim any excess yarn tails. This completes the sewing of the trunk. Next, sew the leaves. Take out the large leaf. Insert the wire of the large leaf into the position on the right side of the 2nd round of the trunk. Then thread the yarn tail into a sewing needle. And sew it to the trunk. Tie off with a knot. Thread the yarn tail into the inside of the trunk. Trim any excess yarn tails. Tidy up the shape. This completes the sewing of one large leaf. Sew the remaining large leaves and small leaves using the same method. You can refer to the finished product for specific positions, or place them according to your preference, once all the leaves are sewn on. Next, sew the avocado. Take out one avocado. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle, from the back of the avocado's base piece. Come out at the slip stitch position of the 3rd round. Then sew it to the right side of the 3rd round on the front of the trunk. Pay attention to the direction of the avocado, with the pointed end facing inward. Sew a few stitches. Then tie off with a knot. Weave in the yarn tail and fasten off the yarn. This way, one avocado is sewn on. For the other avocado, sew it between the 6th round and the 7th round of the trunk. On the left side, pay attention to the direction of the avocado, with the pointed end facing inward. Once everyone has sewn on both avocados, proceed to sew on the decorations. Sew the large and small ingots onto the soil. Start with the large ingot, sewing it evenly around the edge of the base of the trunk. Thread the yarn tail through the sewing needle. Sew it on the front side of the trunk. Finally, fasten off and weave in the end. Sew the remaining large ingots following this method. You can refer to the finished product for specific positions, or sew them according to your own preference. Next, sew on the small ingots. Take out a small ingot. Thread the yarn tail through the sewing needle. Ensure the right side of the small ingot faces out. That is, the side with the clearer texture should face out. Then insert the yarn tail into the inside of the small ingot. Come out from the bottom end. Then sew it onto the right side of the large ingot on the front. Sew a few stitches. Finally, tie off the yarn tail. Insert it into the soil. Then trim any excess yarn tails. This completes the sewing of the small ingot. Another small ingot should be sewn on the left side of the large ingot on the front. Make sure to sew both the large and small ingots together. Next, we will glue the large and small pearls onto the ingots and soil. Apply glue to a pearl. This completes the gluing of one pearl. Glue the remaining pearls using the same method. You can refer to the finished product for the specific quantity and position, or place them according to your own preference. This concludes the explanation of the assembly process. Up to this point, the explanation of this potted plant is now complete. If you have any unclear points during the process, don't hesitate to contact our customer service. Susan's family is here for you, every stitch and thread, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.